So this bird last emerged in 2008. Oh my gosh. They're burrowing into the ground as babies. They're like, oh, hopefully the economy will be better once we get back up.
They
get back up.
They just emerge from the ground. Nope.
They're like, well, let's just swing by to McDonald's and get $1 cheeseburger.
Oh, this has to do with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Then go on a safari. Simply download the free Cicada Safari app, as if I have.
Hey there, all you banter biscuits out there. Happy
Good day, mates.
Cicada summer. We're doing it again, aren't we? We're going Australian, aren't we, Garrett?
I don't know. It just popped into my head.
Every time.
Sorry to interrupt
you.
Sorry. Would you like to start over?
No, I don't want to start over. And you know what actually doesn't interrupt us? When you guys click that like and subscribe button wherever you listen to and give us a 5-star review so Garrett can continually interrupt me every episode moving forward.
Yeah, Seth has run out of hair to pull out of the top of his head from my aggravation, so he's switching to his beard.
Yeah, it's actually all going on my back apparently because I'm gross and in my 30s now. Garrett, you want to see the background of my computer? You don't get a choice.
The list of things that I didn't think I was going to hear from anyone today had that on it as number one.
Someone took a candid photo of some animals. These meerkats?
Does that swap out, or did you pick that?
I don't know, but like, no, they just swap, but it's like, it's supposed to be cute, but you can tell they're really frightened. They're like, oh dear God, what is it? Come closer, kids.
But then the one underneath is like being cradled by the mom on top, like, Mom, are we going to die?
We might if you don't smile.
And then, and then she's like, just stay close to me and we'll watch that cheetah and it won't get near you. And she goes, okay. And then an eagle just goes, from behind. Meerkats have to be the sassiest creatures in the world because of The Lion King.
You think so?
I feel like they would watch The Lion King and be like, hey, that's not us. We're much ruder. And funnier. So how you been,
buddy? Hey, easy. You go first.
I've been good. I'm back in my cage.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm like on vacation, I'm like an orangutan. I'm like Ken the orangutan that goes around throwing rocks at people.
Yeah.
And then I get back into my cage where I belong and things make sense again. I'm like, I'm sitting back in my chair at work, like working furiously, and I'm like, oh, now I can relax a little bit. But the interns have come home to roost.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Let the biscuits know what the interns are.
Every year at our church, we have interns who are amazing.
Nice.
And
except for the year I did it twice back when I was like 18.
No, you were awesome. That's the caliber, the level of people that we choose for internships.
Right.
But I came in one day and there was like that office that's upstairs, in the upper room. Oh, you weren't here because you didn't have one at the time.
No, I was stuck. In like, where I was stuck.
I'm like, hey, you know that office that we built for the interns that we didn't build for you?
Yeah.
I came up one day and like the desks were set up and there was like papers and like pencils like strewn, and I was like,
right,
they're here.
Yeah. I after my experience twice interning at your church, which I loved. I'm pretty sure I said this in one of the earlier episodes too. I promised myself I would never intern again anywhere.
Ever?
Not because it was a bad experience, but because I was so tired of the forced labor from one of the staff members.
From one of them.
Yeah, with such
who doesn't work here anymore.
Yeah, with such little pay and all the abuse.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not doing this ever again.
Yeah.
So that's great, dude.
No, but they're awesome. They're actually all really amazing. And the thing is, like, interns at this level, like the level of the church we're at, like, they have to be like top shelf because the stuff that they're doing has like big impact. You know what I mean? So it can't be like, move the chairs over there, like, and that's your job. Like it's like main service things and like planning VBS and the entire church picnic, which is like hundreds and hundreds of people. And so these are like serious interns, and they're like going into ministry, and like it's so cool to have them around.
Next time on Serious Interns, Dave, I could use a cup of coffee.
I know
exactly what. Yeah. And now the preview for the next Serious Interns.
Well done. just drink it anyway.
Yeah, and that's all it is. All right, Garrett, the music world has suffered yet again
a big
another
setback.
Terrible loss. Yeah.
Yeah. As and if it could get any lower.
Yeah, I know this one is pretty near and dear to your heart. So why don't you talk with us about Mr. Brian Wilson?
Yeah, I wore this shirt today in his honor.
It's tan. Oh, California.
It says LA, Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
So
it's tan, much like the beaches he would go on when they were singing.
Yeah, Golden Sand. Remember?
Yes,
that's right. You've never seen it.
Yeah, sorry. I liked better artists like the Beatles. Go ahead.
Cedar Point has coarse rocks, and they call it sand. So it's really weird because on Monday night I turned on Disney Plus because I've got a little rumble in the tumble. If you know what I mean. Like there's something
Nobody
really wrong
knows what you mean. What?
There's something really wrong with my insides.
Okay, do you need to use the bathroom?
I'm very rotten all the time.
Okay. Well, I don't understand what any of that. What?
It's been like 4 days, and my stomach feels like it's literally going to drop out from underneath me.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just sick all the time. That's
Did they just drill out your sinuses? Do we need to do the same thing to your intestines?
Yeah, no, the curse has moved downward.
Oh, that...
But I'd rather have it this way because now I actually feel my body feels good. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Or over yonder. But I was up late, and I was like, what am I going to watch to distract myself from the intense pain? And I turned on the Beach Boys documentary on Disney Plus.
I love that one. That's a pretty good one, dude.
I hated it.
Oh. Garrett texted me. Texted me.
Next time on Banter Gravy movie reviews. It was good. I hated it.
Yeah.
Next time on
Garrett texted me. He's like, Brian Wilson died. I'm like, yeah, I know, dude. Like, he's like, I want to do something about it on our podcast. I said, sweet. I'm like, I just watched the documentary. He's like, dude, I just watched it. What was it, yesterday?
Monday.
Last week. I just watched it Monday. Crazy. And I'm thinking, oh, sweet. Garrett has nothing but good things to say.
Nope.
Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised?
It was just so rudimentary. And they really, they like blotted out all the bad stuff. Like they didn't even talk about Dennis drowning. Like
yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. They talked about how he died in a surfing accident.
They totally talked about Dennis
Garrett,
drowning.
You have ADHD. You can't be giving documentary reviews.
You know what? I am being hounded 24/7 on Clash of Clans.
I was about to say, you were playing Clash of Clans when it was on, weren't you?
I 100% was. But that does not excuse my behavior.
They definitely talked about that. And the plane incident and
but
Brian Wilson on drugs.
They didn't talk about the drug problems.
They did.
No, they did. Okay, I'm watching it again.
Oh my gosh.
I'm watching it again.
Okay, wait a minute.
I thought I could have swore they talked about him reclusing to his room, but then they were just like, and then he was back when they came out with Endless Summer, and nothing happened.
I just go on your Disney Plus search history. I'm like, Garrett, this was Wally.
And then Audrey grabs the phone away from you, and she's like, this is Free Willy.
Yeah. and then Graham grabs the phone, or Elle grabs the phone. She's like, Steamboat Willie. Garrett watched Steamboat Willie instead of the Beach Boys documentary on Disney Plus.
And I'm like, they've spent a lot of time on that tugboat.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I just don't want to watch a documentary that's just so black and white, you know? Like, where's the gray?
I really loved the part where Brian Wilson played his teeth like a xylophone. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I didn't know Donald Duck was in the Beach Boys.
He's more of a lake boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to watch it again. Apparently, I didn't see any of that stuff. I thought they bypassed all the dark stuff.
No way. And they definitely talked about how sad they were that, his brain was affected by the drugs and then the issue on the plane and everything else. Like they really
remember that.
I feel like
I don't remember it being about
it.
drugs though. I think they just feel like they were just like, yeah, he was acting strange and went up to his room for 6 years.
I could have sworn. Anyway, but this isn't Pantry Gravy Reviews, that defunct part of this podcast that we no longer do. But
so I have to say though, when I heard about it, like it was weird because I've been listening to Beach Boys all week, which I listen to Beach Boys every summer. I've been listening my whole life. I mean, they're from my neck of the woods, and it's like you have songs here that are like, "Hey Snoopy" or whatever it's called, Sloopy.
Yeah.
And then other songs, that make you feel like Ohio. Like
Ohio is for lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like those songs are from like my home area. You know what I mean? Like, so
sure,
like,
they sing
Wouldn't
about
It Be
Ohio.
Nice, 409.
Yeah.
All these like beach classics. So hearing that this like monolith of a songwriter died, like the same week that I was diving back into it, it was just like kind of haunting. It was just like,
right.
I figured it was that thing that your phone does when it listens to you and starts telling you stuff, and
about
it was like
Pizza
fake
Hut?
news.
Yeah.
But then I looked it up and I was like, oh, he did die. Like today.
Like today, like just now. Like I turned on the music and then he died.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was
Garrett killed Brian Wilson.
It's my fault.
that is the main idea from this segment. Garrett killed Brian Wilson.
Can that please be the title of this episode? That's what's going to break this podcast through, because everyone's going to listen to it for 3 seconds until they hear it, and then they're going to tune off.
I'm going to have to put like, maybe.
Yeah.
In parentheses after that, or not really.
Yeah.
after I don't
So
know.
I took the liberty of getting together a very, very, very short biography about Brian Wilson's life, if you want to go through it.
I am down to listen. Not only
right.
with that, but much like Disturbed, I'm down with the sickness.
We just need to... It's typhoid fever.
Oh, it's cholera. It's like, just go ask President Polk, and then you immediately transport to his tomb, and you're like, oh.
There's so many Mexican-American war jokes that are spinning in my head, but we're just going to move on.
No, you go right for it, dude.
Brian
It's
Douglas,
perfect
we
time.
need to honor this man. Brian Douglas Wilson, June 20th through 1942. I didn't know he was born that
And
long
if
ago.
you're British, it's actually 20th June.
20 June?
20th June, 1947, you said?
42.
42. Okay.
Through 11 June 2025.
Nice.
Was a prominent American musician, songwriter, singer, and record producer, best known as the co-founder and driving force behind the Beach Boys. Born in Inglewood, California, it's like a stone's throw from L.A., Wilson demonstrated...
You throw a stone, and you just hear a window crash, you're like, yeah, it
Yep,
is.
that's
and then police come get
Riverside.
you. Yeah. It's like, why aren't the police here? And they're just handling the protests. You're like,
Yeah, we'll take care of Garrett later.
yeah.
Wilson demonstrated a strong musical aptitude from a young age, particularly in piano and harmony, which I will add. Harmony is one of those things that you have to hear. You know what I mean? Like, you can't learn. I feel like you can get sharper at it, but like if you can't hear notes in your head and sing them and imitate them, it's a very tough skill to develop. Like, that's a natural thing.
It's also the name of a student I once had while teaching at Cleveland.
Oh, okay. He was heavily influenced by the music of the Four Freshmen and American composers.
Not Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons? Or was that at the same time?
Frank Valens, I think, was like 50s. And he died in like that plane
just
accident,
died.
right? That crazy accident with
What?
Buddy Holly in the
No,
plane.
not Frank Valli. I know that's the day the music died, but Frank Valli
Valens.
just, I think. That
Oh, okay.
Valens? It's Valli. Frankie Valli.
I don't know. It sounds like ranch dressing.
Oh, he's still alive.
Okay. Well, who's the guy that died in the plane crash?
That's Buddy Holly.
Buddy. I'm the one talking about
way
music right
off,
now.
Yeah.
Holly, Harpy, Honey.
Samsonite.
We were way off. He formed the Beach Boys with his younger brothers Dennis and Carl Wilson, cousin Mike Love, and friend Al Jardine. The Beach Boys under Wilson's leadership became a major force in surf rock, establishing the California sound, which I'm going to go ahead and argue that they pretty much invented it.
Think so?
Yeah, every genre, if you've been paying attention to the last 100 years.
I haven't, but go ahead.
I haven't either. Every great genre is a blend or a fusion of two other genres.
Right.
So in my opinion, like California sound, you could combine it. I believe it would be like one part doo-wop and other part rockabilly.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like the whole run, run, Ryu, wah sound is like, that's from the doo-wop era. And then you also need like that, all the California girls and the beach and like the ba ba boom boom ba sound. Like that's rockabilly.
I'm really glad you mentioned this, because what I'm going to do, much like the music industry, is I'm going to take... Okay, so I'm going to do two things, yeah. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Blues
and combine them
to make a hockey-baseball hybrid.
Yeah.
And we're going to make tens of dollars.
We're going to make $10 on one ticket, and they're all going to be interns.
And it's going to be called the Purples.
It's a really great idea. Let's see. Wilson's innovative approach to songwriting and production influenced numerous artists and continues to be studied and celebrated in the music industry. I'll take this moment to mention Pet Sounds, one of the best albums of all time, which was so innovative at the time that it was not received commercially. Like it was kind of rejected because it was kind of weird.
Was it like ahead of its time sort of deal?
Very, yeah. I mean, think about it. It's like all of the the chord changes in God Only Knows.
Yeah.
You know, the like do 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 without you.
Yeah.
Without you. You know what I mean? Like people listen to it and were like, those chords are weird. They're not G, A minor, and C.
Right. It's like this music is way too ahead of its time, and you hear California Girls on one of the tracks. They're like, no, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. California Girls was a little earlier. That was so explosive because it was like primed fresh for pop. You know what I mean? Like they were ready for the next step. But Pet Sounds, that was way ahead, so it didn't really get received. But he was just he didn't care about that. He cared about like being innovative at the time and making the best, most creative sound that he could, and that's why it wasn't accepted.
I was referencing California Girls by Katy Perry, but please go ahead and move on. Yeah,
we don't talk about Katy Perry on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't know
or
why.
Bruno.
Okay, wait, why?
Wilson, and which this leads into the next thing. So he had like a lot of issues around that time, like including bipolar, schizophrenia, and just like generally being down on himself, which is what chased him out of the limelight. So at the time, they were touring a lot, and so he creates this Pet Sounds album and puts his heart and soul into it, like everything he's got, and like he really is proud of it. And much like this podcast, it fell upon deaf ears.
I was legit about to say, like, you're like, he suffered from schizophrenia and bipolar. I'm like, you mean what each co-host of Banter Gravy gets after 50 episodes?
No, it's just funny because we're at episode 56 now. But I remember around like episode 40 or something like that, being like so proud of what we were making.
Yeah.
And putting it like right when we started the YouTube channel, being like, here we go. And then it was like 1 view. And it's like,
and you're like, oh. Yeah, it really took the wind out of our barely floating sails.
Yeah. But no, you just create the best thing you can, and then later it's appreciated.
Yeah, I've already told Shelby, I'm like, I feel like I'm going to be the Vincent Van Gogh of podcasts. Like this isn't going to take off until I'm dead.
she's gonna be cradling you like in your old age, like in your ears, like half like sawn off,
gone,
be like,
right.
Thank you for a wonderful life, Seth and Garrett, and turns to me, and I'm there, and there's just blood going down both the sides of my.
Yeah.
Because both my ears are gone.
Yeah, you're like, I can do it too.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah. If Shelby is cradling me and I'm dying, it's probably in the parking lot of a Burger King. I'm just going to point that out right now.
Taco Bell. That's how you'd like to go out, right? Eating a Crunchwrap Supreme.
I won't just be eating a Crunchwrap Supreme. I will be choking
on it.
On a Crunchwrap Supreme.
He lived the way he died.
Choking on a tortilla.
Oh boy. But yeah, so imagine putting out pet sounds. And like it's this whole thing. It's like, wouldn't it be nice if we were older? Like that song, the fire of that song. And then the record executive just being like, eh.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, whatever, the public will get it. And then the charts come back and nobody cares.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Awful.
Like
and it's just a genius, but it's genius though.
Like I would go to my room too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd retreat as well. Like that must have been so difficult.
Devastating.
So he also struggled with substance abuse, which I'm assuming is probably part of it, because when you're on top like that and you're touring and everybody loves you, like every teenage girl in America is like chasing you, and you're like Grammy Awards, and all of a sudden nobody cares, but you put out your best stuff. It would make sense to turn to drugs. You know what I mean? To like, because you're living this high for so long, and it's a natural one, and then for so many years, and then it's pulled out from under you, and suddenly it's like, how do you get back up there again? You know,
it's not about the experience; it's about the dopamine.
Yeah, so it makes sense. He also struggled with a lot of just general mental issues. So not having to do with substance abuse, but like just things that naturally occur in the brain of geniuses. You know what I mean? So just like because their brain is used in different weird ways. So when the things connect, like it causes different pathways and neuro things that happen that make you go a little crazy. Mm-hmm. Which is why you hear so often about these like weird stories about like classical composers and like artists that are just like wild, like what the heck? It's because they were literally crazy. But that's what makes the music so good.
And that's why I can't make any music, because I am average.
Because you're of normal intelligence. No, we still need to do your test, by the way. Yeah, your IQ test. So you still owe that to me.
He's just playing chopsticks on the piano. Sign him a record label deal.
200 IQ.
Yeah.
Despite these challenges, we're nearing the end. Wilson continued to create music, both as a solo artist and with the Beach Boys, releasing albums and touring extensively, but only in the later years. So he pulled back and didn't tour anymore, and he would stay home and make and write the music and wait for the Beach Boys to come back around and then be like, okay, here's the music, sing it. They'd sing it in the studio and then ship back out again. And they took Glenn Campbell for a little while in his place. But there's no replacing Brian Wilson. He's just, there's no replacing that voice.
Fun fact about the Beach Boys, I was first exposed to them on Full House.
Oh.
That Full House episode where the Beach Boys came over?
Which episode were you in?
When the Beach Boys came over?
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, they were playing Beach Boys. They wanted to go to the Beach Boys concert, and then they opened up the door like Classics 90 sitcom, and the Beach Boys are just standing there. They're like, hello, and everyone's like, whoa, yeah!
That had something to do with John Stamos.
It did. Yeah, 100%. So that's how I first knew them.
I'll bet they're friends.
Oh, they are. He would tour with them.
Oh, cool.
Like,
wow.
As like, he does that. John Stamos will literally go and play music with just like bands every now and then just to hang out.
Wow.
You should look that up.
It's a cushy life. I should look up how to be a musician.
Garrett does that because he needs money.
Yeah. We'd like to thank Billy for coming out tonight. We have a gig in Alexandria's in Findlay on Saturday, and I'm stoked because I finally get to use my drums.
Told ya.
Yeah. I'm going to see. Hold on. Let's do an experiment here on Banter Gravy. I'm going to see if you can see my drums.
Okay. We are currently looking at the HVAC system of the ceiling. We are rotating down. You can see a little bit of the head. There it is. Okay. Yeah, there you go. It's completely upside down. But yeah, nice.
So those are my drums.
Sucker red.
I bought them in June 2024.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Right when we started this pod.
Yes. And I was like, finally, I can play. I have my own drums. I don't have to mooch off church anymore. And then the first gig that came was this week. To wrap this up, he was recognized for his achievements with a Kennedy Center Honors Award and 2 Grammy Awards. He died on June 11, 2025, at the age of 82. And the world, honestly, I believe we lost one of the best artists, best producers, most innovative minds of our time. So it is, and especially having the California connection, there's a little piece of me that's like, it's hurting today, you know?
Yeah.
He said, somebody asked him, what do you want to be remembered for? And what he said was, I want to be remembered that I wrote great songs. And I can honestly say that that's about right. You know what I mean? So he got what he wanted. So
rest in peace, Brian Wilson.
Yeah. All right, Seth.
That was so disingenuous, you piece of garbage. That was so disingenuous.
That was my imitation of you. Did I do good?
I told Garrett, I'm like, you want to start this one? He's like, yeah, I kind of have to. I'm like, all right. He's like, all right, Seth. I'm like, you son of a gun. Yeah, okay.
That was what you do. That's what you say. So I was like, I got to be like Seth. All right, so Seth found an article.
I love how people always say that sarcastically. I got to be more like Seth.
I got to be more like Seth.
Why don't you open it up, Garrett?
I just opened it for the first time. When you're on a ride, keep your mouth closed. Kings Island visitors joined. That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
Not invaded, not bothered,
Nope.
not pestered.
Yeah.
Joined.
I haven't mowed my lawn in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because of these.
Why? Because you're worried that it'll hurt them? Joined by thousands of cicadas.
Biscuits, by the time you're listening to this, the cicadas will still be in full force.
Yeah.
This is hands down the most annoying experience I have ever, maybe top 10, but of recent experiences, definitely like the most annoying experience I have ever been through.
To match the level of annoying, I actually wrote a poem. It's called The Danube of the Cicada. You ready to hear it?
I'm ready.
It goes like this.
Mm-hmm.
My throat just fell into my stomach.
It's beautiful. It was haunting.
That was the human's rend. Rolling Stone says, awful.
Haunting.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
The New York Times says, what was that?
Yeah. And Germany says, and you thought we had war crimes.
Yeah. Oh, God. I actually just watched a YouTube video the other week about how does Germany teach their students about World War II?
Yeah.
And exactly how it went. That's how they teach them.
Yeah. What World War II?
Yeah. All right, Mason, Ohio. There's a roar heard throughout Kings Island in Mason, but it isn't just from the crowds and the roller coasters. Cicadas from Brood 14. Is that like some sort of New York gang?
I don't know, man.
Man, the cicadas are bad this year.
Yeah, they keep talking about how it's like, oh yeah, it's Brood 14. Yeah, it's Brood 14.
What does that mean?
I don't know. When did we start counting this?
Are we man creating them? Man making them?
I hope not.
On cicada farms?
I think.
Yeah, you just see all of these Amish farmers standing in a row, and they're like, hats off to Brood 12. Didn't make it. And they all just take their hats off, put them over their hearts.
My favorite
and
quote.
And then all of a sudden the cicadas just go, just buzz around. It's 13.
Yeah. I'm sorry, sir. We were wrong. We were wrong.
We should have listened.
I like the quote. It says, this Brood 14, was first seen by the Pilgrims in 1634.
Wait, what?
Like, how do they know?
Okay, so this one, it's been going a while.
Yeah. Can you imagine the Pilgrims just get off the boat? They're like, oh, thank God, we've escaped the persecution and tyranny of the crowd. And then a swarm of cicadas just starts heading toward them. They're like, hey, what's that?
Oh, boy. Go ahead, read on.
They've been emerging a little later than we've expected in some places. I went up to the outside area of Kings Island. Almost every tree was covered with cicadas, and their song could be heard all around. And the camera just slowly pans to me in uniform, and I'm just completely covered by them. And I'm like,
yeah, yes, I love that sound.
Over the weekend, several people shared their experiences on TikTok of cicadas joining them at Kings Island. Daniels, one person who shared the moment where her young son Oliver realized a cicada had decided to land on his shirt as they entered the park. He loves all things bugs and earth, but when it comes to cicadas, I don't know if it's the legs or the noises they make, but it creeps him out.
You don't say.
Yeah. I think we are starting to embrace and make them our friends. We're taking them with us on roller coasters. We are loving on them. So I'm hoping that it's moving more from fear to embracing and loving cicadas. So fun story. I was at Kings Island yesterday working, and I went to go use the bathroom, and there was a cicada in the urinal.
Oh, just chilling?
Yep. And I turned around and walked away.
He turns up and he's like, hey, I was waiting.
He's like, you here to use the bathwater too? Just smokes a cigarette. Yeah, I literally walk in, the cicada in the urinal, and I just turn around. I'm like, nope.
And held your pee?
Yep. The rest of the day.
What? There's more than one urinal? Or is there only one?
I said, forget it. I said,
it's a sign.
Done. I said, I quit.
I meant to hold this in.
I said, I can't escape these things.
Yeah.
Christy told me that if you're enjoying your days at Kings Island over the coming weeks, he does have one important piece of advice. Just enjoy the cicadas, and when you're on the ride, keep your mouth closed.
Of course. Because who doesn't want to choke on a cicada while you're going at 200 miles an hour down two metal pipes?
Can you imagine if like you straight up just like choked on a cicada while on the ride?
I can.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I would pay any extra for it.
Dude, scroll down. They have a picture of Oliver Daniels with his mouth shut on the roller coaster.
Oh yeah, he's like, don't scream.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wait, Garrett, there's a cicada safari website. Scroll down and click that. I want to click that.
Cicada safari.
to learn more about them. Yeah. This is the epic bunny trail.
It is.
Yeah. Our next major emergence of the periodical cicadas.
That's Brood 14.
Yeah, this is Brood 14. Brood 14 will emerge in 14 states. This brood was first reported in 1634 and again in 1770. Oh my gosh!
I don't understand the 14 thing. What is that? What does that number have to?
I think it's because they're in 14 states. Brood 14 will emerge in 14 states. Is that the reason why they call it Brood 14?
I don't know. That seems like a coinkydink.
So this brood last emerged in 2008. Oh my gosh, they're burrowing into the ground as babies. They're like, oh, hopefully the economy will be better once we get back up.
They
get back up.
They just emerge from the ground. They're just like, nope.
They're like, well, let's just swing by to McDonald's and get a $1 cheeseburger.
Simply download the free Cicada Safari app, as if I have space on my phone for that. Find periodical cicadas. Photograph and submit the periodical cicadas to Cicada Safari, and after the photos are verified, so they want to make sure they're real. They will be posted to the live map. Okay. So almost as fun as geocaching.
I get. There's just a little note on one of the cicadas. You pull it out and you take out the note, and it's just like,
if you look everywhere.
Yeah, if you are reading this, it's too late.
It's too late.
Yeah, and then you look up, they start swarming everywhere, and you're like, oh
there
God.
They are. Where will Brood 14 emerge? And it has all these little blue dots everywhere.
Yeah,
and most of them are all in Kentucky. They're all crowding Kentucky. And then look, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes, I am.
They skipped West Virginia. And then just start again in Pennsylvania.
They're right in West Virginia.
They're like, we don't need this.
Yeah.
Just
it's
move
funny.
on.
So the reason why it's Brood 14, so here's why. The cicadas that emerged in the brood number is usually given in Roman numerals. Charles Marlatt, an etymologist working
entomologist.
And this is what my kids always do if they can't pronounce it. Working for the Department of Agriculture, they just continue and move on, designated that all the cicadas that emerged in 1893 and at 17-year intervals thereafter as Brood 1. The cicadas that emerged in 1894 were called Brood 2, and so on. There are only 3 broods of 13-year cicadas, 19, 22, and 23. The cicadas that emerged in this year belong to Brood 14. Not all cicadas count the years correctly. In 2000, based on collections of cicada nymphs during the 17 years underground, Dr. Gene Kritsky predicted that thousands of cicadas would emerge 4 years early in May of 2000. That indeed did occur. And in 5 locations, the numbers that emerged were so great that cicadas sang, mated, and laid their eggs. The natural question that followed was, will these early offspring keep a 13-year life cycle or shift back to 17? In 2013, a few hundred cicadas emerged, but the adults were all eaten by predators.
Oh, boy.
And no singing and mating occurred. It was a different matter in 2017 when more of the offspring of the early 2000 cicadas emerged and were joined by newly accelerated Brood 10 cicada that were emerging 4 years before the next Brood 10 emergence in 2021. Okay, I actually remember that. Anyway, we will be waiting till 2034 to see if this population becomes permanent. Both broods 13 and 19 had early cicadas emerge in 2020.
Interesting.
I did not realize this would be a cicada-like themed episode.
Can you imagine having a baby and that baby falls asleep for 17 years and then wakes up and screams for 6 weeks?
You mean Rip Van Winkle?
Food, please.
Yeah. You know the story of Rip Van Winkle?
No.
He's a guy, it's fictional, but he fell asleep in like 1760 something and he like woke up after the American Revolution.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he had to experience like what happens. And that's what I was saying. Like they wake up, they're like, yeah, let's just head over to McDonald's to have a 99-cent cone. Wait, what?
Okay. Well, hopefully, this will enrich our lives in some way. I do know that it's a comforting sound in the South.
And the term they used to call them, get this, Garrett, the pilgrims and colonists used to call them locusts. The term locust started to be used around 1715 in the English colonies when citizens tried to make sense of the cicada emergences by equating them, get this, Garrett, with biblical plague.
Okay.
And that John the Baptist ate locusts. The Native Americans also ate cicadas.
Yeah.
The cicadas start coming out. They're like, we must have done something wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I feel bad for James Madison, because he had epilepsy and he couldn't share it with anybody when he was growing up because people thought it was like the sign of like, satanic, like.
Oh, really?
He was so shy to share about it because
the indwelling of evil.
Yeah, exactly, of evil. So he's like, I can't really tell people I'm kind of epileptic because like people freak out.
Leave it to the revolutionary age to completely misunderstand some sort of medical practice. They're like, you have a cold? All right. Let's take out half his blood.
Yeah. You have a cicada? Time to kill every firstborn offspring in Rhode Island.
Let all the red ants go into his ears so he can't hear them anymore.
Yes. Thou saidest, thou shall be done. Wouldn't it be nice if we did garnish? Oh. Garrett, hit us up with some of that gravy garnish.
Today, we were talking about, should we acknowledge that gravy garnish is back?
Garrett, we acknowledge gravy garnish is back every time it comes back.
I finally had an hour, and I was like, you know what? I can work this time. Today, we're talking about the man whose demeanor only gets meaner. MI6's largest budget drain. No evil assailant can outsmart this secret agent. This isn't the best I've ever done. The only man who can blow up a secret Russian base, seduce a lady, and secure an evil doctor all in the same 24 hours.
We're talking about Churchill, aren't we?
Yes. Winston Churchill. The man with the golden gun. The only man who's ever killed a bad guy with a shoe. That's right, agents. Grab your pen gun, jump in your Austin Martin, debug your rotary phones, put on your PP7 silencers, and prepare to jump onto a moving train and take out the bad guys, because today we are carefully eavesdropping in on exactly 007 classified facts about James Bond.
007.
Yeah. Could I have said that instead?
How did you make it so perfect and then 007?
007.
So fun fact about James Bond, I freaking love James Bond. So when I was a kid,
Fact number 0.
Yeah, fact 0. I used to play, and I'm sure you did too, dude, the GoldenEye on N64.
So just a heads up, guys, the 64 game is not in this one because it was way too big.
Yeah.
So I think when someday down the road, when you hear the second James Bond garnish, episode 700
and 57.
Yeah. We'll do one that's just on the game because the facts are way too much for one garnish. But
I loved James Bond as a kid. Like I saw all the Pierce Brosnan movies. I played 2 of the games. And then recently with Shelby, we went back and we watched all the Sean Connery ones.
Nice.
And by the time we got to the end of it, she turned to me and she's like, I hate this. So, yeah. But no, I love James Bond.
You guys are just sitting there watching Gone with the Wind. And after 3 hours, it's like, da-na-na-na. And then like it just like fades out. And she turns to you and she's like, so did the South ever come back?
Oh my gosh. Did you ever see Codename Kids Next Door, or were you a little too old for that?
Conan and the Kids Next Door?
No, Codename Kids Next Door. Is that some sort of
Hercules knockoff?
No, Codename Kids Next Door from
okay.
Cartoon Network.
No. Okay. I'm picturing the cartoons. I know what they look like.
So
with
the
big eyes.
Yeah, they took 2 James Bond villains. They took Mr. Wink and Mr. Finch or whatever. You ever see Diamonds Are Forever?
I don't think we made it to that one. Me and Mark were going through every Bond film. I don't think we made it there yet.
They had the 2 like henchmen who just like would assassinate all like the people in the movie. He's like, very nice shot, Mr. Wink. Thank you, Mr. Finch. Like it was so weird. And that's Crispin Glover's dad, by the way, from Back to the Future. His dad was one of the henchmen. And Codename Kids Next Door did a tribute to them as 2 villains in their cartoon series as well.
What was, do you know Crispin Glover's dad's name?
Bruce Glover, I believe.
Bruce Glover. Wow.
I believe he just died this year.
You are the IMDb of this podcast, my friend.
Let me check. Yeah, he passed away in March. But yeah, Bruce Glover was one of the bad guys. He was Mr. Wint.
Yeah. You're like Robert Zemeckis' assistant on Back to the Future 2, Jim Smithy. Yeah. And I'm like, you mean Marty?
Yeah, it was Diamonds Are Forever.
Your knowledge way outweighs mine.
Yeah, once I research something, go down the bunny trail, like I really get into it.
Yeah. Fact number 1, books. Like gravy garnish, they help you learn things.
Do they though? Do we?
We don't need books. I have a MacBook.
Okay, you're grounded.
Like this fact, the man with the license to kill was not born for movies, as you might have thought, but rather a book named Casino Royale, written by Ian Fleming in 1952, released 1953. He wrote the book in Jamaica in a cabin that he owned called GoldenEye.
What? Stop it.
Yes, he named his cabin GoldenEye before he started writing.
So cheeky.
Fact number 2, all of the books he wrote, there are 4 yet to be made into movies. It's already making me laugh. It's not a good sign. Those are called Property of a Lady.
Oh, good.
The Hildebrand Rarity, Risico, and 007 in New York.
Okay.
To which I just hear, hey, I'm killing somebody over here.
Yeah. You're getting way too much fun out of this.
He just holds up a mangled pizza like in a ball, and he just takes a bite out of it, and he's like, I like my pizza shaken, not stirred.
Get out of here, Garrett. Shut up.
Fact number 3. James Bond is a Time Lord.
What?
Fact number 4.
Okay. You're just gonna skip. This is why Garrett can't teach at the community college anymore. They walk into one of his classes. They're like, James Bond was a Time Lord. All right, now turn your books to page 482.
They're like, it just erupts into pandemonium. Oh my gosh, books flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Somebody takes their laptop and just
slams it on the ground, and it's all going everywhere. And you're like, and you just take your pen. And you're like, you're getting an F for the day.
And it's like,
yeah.
And then this police box starts forming.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say because like other than Doctor Who, like there's not really many other like franchises where the person just swaps out. You know what I mean? And like without even explanation. It's just like, oh, it's a new guy.
At least Doctor Who gives you an explanation.
But they don't explain why he looks different.
Yeah, James Bond, apparently, so all the James Bonds up until Daniel Craig are supposed to be the same James Bond. And then Daniel Craig's is like a whole different universe James Bond, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, it's not mentioned. But
yeah.
there was one movie, and me and Mark watched this one, where Sean Connery left. They're like, okay, he's done.
Is that the one where James gets married?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then the next, I think it was on Her Majesty's Secret Service, right?
Yes.
And this guy named George Lazenby or something, Lazenby.
Okay.
He was Bond for one film.
Yes.
And then it sparked outrage, and they were like, "Okay, looks like we're going back to Mr. Connery's office."
Yeah, Sean Connery comes right back. Yeah, and then he left, and we got
Well, while you're looking that up, I was gonna say they got him back, but only after offering him 12.5% of all the profit on the next movie.
Yeah, dude. And then we got Roger
Moore.
Back.
Oh, Roger Moore. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In order for Roger Moore, some people think that he's the best. In order for Mr. Moore to be Bond, Sean Connery had to die.
Yeah. Sean Connery and Roger Moore are to James Bond as David Tennant and Matt Smith are to Doctor Who.
Oh, interesting.
Like, you have two iconic versions of that character who are like right in subsequent order of each other.
Yeah. I just feel bad for the other guy who tried.
Not
like,
hard
never mind.
enough. Yeah.
It doesn't look well. It doesn't look good because it's like, well, what happened? So, yeah, he got 12.5% of all the profits on the next one to come back, and he made a ton of money. 12% on the entire... That's like all the royalties, all the box office, like everything.
Sure.
And they said that he donated, and by they, I mean all the people on Google. He donated a lot of it to his favorite charity, the Scottish International Education Trust.
Okay.
I just pictured a bunch of sheep and desks. Fact number 4.
You go to Scotland for like the thing, and they're like, "What's the dress code?" They're like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
And the next scene, you're just all walking in kilts.
Yeah. Fact number 4. Dr. No.
No. Wait, we
Dr.
were just on
No.
fact number 4.
No, that was 3. James Bond is a Time Lord.
Oh my gosh.
Dr. No was the first Bond film. Yeah, remember why we moved away from this?
I do.
Dr. No was the first Bond film which was made with $1.5 million, which is absolutely dwarfed by the bonkers amount of money that it took to make the last one, No Time to Die. $301 million.
Oh my gosh.
So exactly $300 million more than the first one.
And then one of the accountants on the film like, "Wow, this is bonkers."
Yeah. Fact number 5. Dr. No, Goldfinger, and From Russia with Love, all of them are of the highest rated Bond films at a 3-way tie of an impossible 96% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, dude.
Like, the amount of movies that have that rating are, I think, under 10, right?
Dr. No cracked me up because it's him, the Bond girl, and like the dude on the boat who got him there. And they're going through this beach, and then there's these tanks with flamethrowers.
Yeah.
They're like, if you remember. And they're like, "They'll never get us, right?" Yeah. And then he looks, and the other dude's just on the ground on fire.
Yeah.
And it's just like... I turned to Shelby, and I'm like, what the heck? heck? Like,
Yeah.
how did they get him number one? Like, they're just tanks with flamethrowers. It's not like, they're.
Yeah. It's
oh
like
my
when
gosh.
it's like if you and me were tried to invade Put-in Bay in the middle of Lake Erie.
Sure.
And we're just on a speedboat, and you're like, "They'll never get us, Garrett." And you just turn to me, and there's a cannon on the beach, and it's shooting burritos.
Yeah.
And you're like, Garrett,
Yeah.
and you turn,
Garrett?
and I just have one lodged in my throat, like.
Yeah. I just picture me, you, and like Mark, and we're just on the beach. We're like, all right, we're sneaking. Are you ready, Mark? And you just smell something on fire. And you just look, and you're just like, all right, it's just me and Garrett.
It's our cars.
Yeah.
So yeah, they all tied, which is pretty amazing.
I mean, when you're the best, you're the best.
Fact number 6. Ian Fleming was asked to make a statement on Dr. No. His response was, dreadful.
No.
Simply dreadful. Oh. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. And he's like, absolutely not. They're like,
Oh, that's why they call him Dr. No.
He said it was dreadful, simply dreadful.
Yeah, he hated it.
And then hung the phone up.
Yeah.
Fact number 7. Fact number 007. The
knew
now
it.
iconic opening sequence with the gun was done by filming an actor with a pinhole camera down the barrel of an actual real gun. Which I think is a delightful fact. I didn't know. I thought
I didn't know that was like
it was like
just
a
an
giant
effect,
big,
like a paper, like like poster or something.
It cost them $3,000
Oh my god.
to do that.
What the heck? Oh my gosh. If I would do something like that, Shelby would turn and be like, you spent how much on what? Yeah, but Garrett looks really cool walking by through it.
Yeah, doesn't it? I went back and forth like this, like I was getting wavery from being shot.
How did you get the blood effect? And you're just in the living room bleeding out.
Yeah. My side just has the bandage on it, and it's like
Yeah.
bleeding down my leg, and I'm like,
Did you get the shot? And I'm like, oh yeah, we
I
got
just
the
hand you a
shot.
bill for $3,000. It's from the doctor.
Oh man.
And then you take out a lighter and just go.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be an actual gun,
No.
but like it's just cool knowing that it's really a gun.
Right.
And contrary to popular belief, that was not Sean Connery who turned to the camera and shoot. It was a man named Bob Simmons.
Oh.
They're like, I guess we'll use this guy.
This movie's going to be an absolute success. Let's just film the $3,000 gun
Yeah.
tube scene right now. We'll be fine. What if it never took off? They're like, what are we supposed to do with
Yeah.
this?
What if you never signed on?
I mean, $3,000 in 1962, dude, is
They're
like
oh yeah, it's like $59,000 in today's money. Or
it's
something.
like now, $5,900.
Yeah. So next time we'll talk about GoldenEye, the video game. But for now, the end.
All right, Garrett, before we wrap up, I want to make a fool out of you
I'm
at the end of
scared.
every episode. And
You know
what
how
we
we've
are
done
gonna-
trivia ones before, and I always turn out to be the dumb one?
You're not the dumb one, dude. Like, you're just... All right, so
I
this
said
section...
I turn out to be the dumb one. I didn't say start out that way.
Oh.
It's just revealed slowly over time.
I love to give trivia questions to Garrett, not because to try to prove that he doesn't know things, but to help him gain further knowledge.
Yes.
And this one, Garrett, comes to us from U.S. history. Are you ready?
Okay.
Wait, pause. You know what we should do?
Did you hear the wheels turning when you paused in my brain?
Yes,
The
yeah.
cogs. The
I'm
cogs
wondering
went-
I'm wondering if I should give you the question at the end of the episode and you answer it
And
at
I
the
answer
beginning
first?
of the next one.
Oh, no. I thought you were going to say, should I try to answer first and then you reveal the question?
Yeah.
I'm like, the Magna Carta. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah. This breakfast brand came out in 1953.
No, Jeopardy's backwards.
What?
Jeopardy, isn't it answer in the form of a question, then it's revealed? And the answer's
Yes.
revealed?
Yeah. This one comes from U.S. history, Garrett.
Okay.
This was for $400 back in November. The 1938 Fair Labor Standards Act established the first federal this. It's been increased more than 20 times, but not since 2009.
Okay.
What do you think that is?
We'll find out on episode 57. If you would like to keep up with the Joneses, then please go to our social media pages, like, comment, and subscribe wherever podcasts are sold. And if you have a question, write in to bantergravy@gmail.com, and we'll answer you right away.
Take care, guys.
Take care.